KORG Percussion DDM-220. This is a 1984 PCM drum machine. And vintage KORG drum machines kind of suck. There was the mini pops and people like that, but this is the cousin to the DDM-110. And people call that the worst drum machine ever, but I think this one gives it a run for the money.
They're right. First up, I'm going to flick through the sounds and review them with my face.
All right, so I wanted you to hear those sounds, to hear how good those are in comparison to what we're going to get here. And why am I showing you this broken one? Because I bought this for $3 at a flea market, brought it home in the condition you're seeing it in, and of course it didn't work. So then I went to eBay and spent a whopping $30 to buy a second one, which also, as it turns out, doesn't fully work. And so I took this one out of the box, and of course it's missing one button, but luckily I can just use the power of knife skills to put on a button, and ooh, it looks so much better now. All right, we got those batteries locked and loaded, and let's see what this thing can do. This thing has a total of 9 sounds, which are on buttons 2 through 0. I'm noticing that the metronome part of this does not work, so I'm really only able to show you those amazing sounds. And here's some of the features that it can do. It's got some cool features, I guess. It uses tape. So now as we get into it, I'm going to show you the sounds, starting with the high conga, low conga, timbale, the wood block, the cowbell, more cowbell, and then there is the high agogo, the low agogo. And these last two, the cabasa and tambourine, have their own volume control for some reason. And the 0 tambourine actually can be triggered through CV to a synthesizer, so it can play a note on the synthesizer instead of the tambourine. Kind of a neat feature. Would be great to try it if I could record a pattern. However, that part of this device is dead. So let's take it apart and see if we can fix it. Sorry about Jimmy Savile there, just had to do it. But yeah, here, we're just gonna unwire it and start unscrewing it. And this thing has a ton of screws. It's unbelievable. Popping open both these bad boys, we can see that they're, the same on the inside, which is good. We're all the same on the inside. But of course there are just more screws. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take off this paper insulator. And I've got to do this on both of these because I'm going to swap that top board with the hope that the bottom board on the other one that is totally defective is the cause of the problem. I don't know. I haven't really studied the circuits of this to know if this is going to be a thing to do. I'm really not very excited about the sounds of this machine. You could hear it against the DDM-110, and frankly, that one sounded awesome compared to this percussion one. These are samples, and they sound noisy and also kind of pointless in 2025 or whatever year it's in. So 40 years on, this thing has not aged into anything that is even nostalgia worthy. And God, all these buttons. Let's speed this up. So now we're taking off the first board. We'll do the same thing on number 2. Let's hope that we can Frankenstein this thing back together. Now, the cool thing is KORG has really gotten a lot better with their drum machines. The Drumalog and even the Electribes are like undeniably fun instruments, and the Volca as well. So I think KORG's found its place to redeem itself after this garbage. Let's compare these two front fascias and decide which one we want to use. I think the one on the right is a little cleaner, but they're both pretty beat up, so just take one. So now we're gonna do the great replacement here. So we're looking at both of these. Bottom boards both look the same. That's good. One of them's got a break on it. So we're taking the good one and we're going to put what we think is the hopefully working top board back onto this device and go back and screw in all these things. So we'll just speed this along to get to the point here. And we're going to put in all the screws as we found them, and then finally put back on that paper insulator, and then we can snap the device back together and put the screws back into the back, joining the top and bottom of the DDM-220 Percussion. Last step here will be to reapply the knobs onto the potentiometers. I'm putting them all back to the 0 position to put the potentiometers in the right spot. Not that it's going to matter, but I still want to have this thing kind of working, or at least organized the right way. So just kind of trying to get these tiny ones to go back to the 0 position. And it's the moment of truth. Let's power it up, see if it works. Okay, something's happening. I can see that the tempo is functioning. Going to plug in the sound into the mix, and I am going to have to add in the buttons, put in the right one, back from the board that we were using before so that it all looks nicey nice. And let's see if it actually works. Oh, I'm not in love with this thing, and honestly, if it's working or not doesn't really matter, because I would never really touch this again. Just a bummer to have devices that don't work. And I can see already that the start and stop button isn't doing anything and get no sound out of the buttons, and can't even put it into the instrument setting on the pattern to play it live. So it's actually the top board from the defective one that is part of the problem. So yeah, this was a futile effort, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you don't, that's fine too. So, like and subscribe if you want to get more content like this, hopefully with better instruments and things that are more successful experiments. And if you don't like it, that's fine too.
Be gone with you then, you crazy dumb jerk.